Valencia City. So it takes Valencia Yes, it takes Valencia City for the secretary to be interviewed. Okay. And so, ato pong i-recognize, we will recognize our media friends. From Cagayan de Oro, please stand to be recognized. Stand, good kay layo biya to. Please stand, our Cagayan de Oro media friends. Okay, multi-media, no? Then from Manila, we have our friends, media friends from Manila. And from Bukidnon, please stand, the host. Okay, we also have here our Public Information Officer of the City of Valencia, headed by Sammy Langob. Where's Sammy? Okay, thank you, Sam. We also have here, all the way from Maramag, our Public Information Officer, si Oscar Navasilia. Okay, thank you. To start this briefing, let's listen to the opening statement, full of good news, from Presidential Spokesperson Attorney Harry Roque. Sir.
Okay. Roque. Are we on RTVM? Okay, we're on na pala. Well, good morning to all of you and welcome to the Presidential Malacanang press briefing, which is being held for the first time in the municipality of Valencia, Bukidnon. I have three good news first before I entertain questions from our friends from the media. The first is the Social Weather Station Net Trust Rating Survey. I'm happy to announce that the SWS last quarter Net Trust Rating Survey shows that the President's trust rating rose to 75 in December 2017, a 15-point increase from plus 60 in September 2017. So this is a 15-point increase. This net trust rating is considered excellent by the SWS, and it shows high public satisfaction with the performance of the President across all socioeconomic classes in all education levels in both urban and rural areas. While we are elated with the survey results, we leave no room for complacency. No? We therefore assure that everyone that the Chief Executive, together with his team, would remain undistracted in improving the lives of the poor and marginalized, fighting criminality and enforcing the law, and curbing graft and corruption in government. Another good news, there is increase in infrastructure spending in November of 2017. Note that the problem in the past administration was low spending levels, prompting them to resort to DAP. Well, the Department of Budget and Management report stating a year-on-year increase of 13.6 billion or 44.8 increase in the infrastructure and capital spending in November 2017 is welcome news. This means that our Build infrastructure plan has started to be rolled up. Major projects included the completed road infrastructure projects of the DPWH, acquisition of various equipment under the Capability Enhancement Program of the DILG and PNP, and payments of supplies and repair and maintenance of patrol vessels of the Philippine Coast Guard contributed to the growth in infrastructure's disbursement. We assure everyone that with the implementation of the package of tax reform measures, we will expediently and efficiently use public funds to usher in the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines. Now, update on Bangon Marawi, because there is no update on Bangon Marawi in Manila, in lieu of which they asked me to read the statement on the status of Bangon Marawi. Task Force Bangon Marawi interventions are continuing and on track, including the rehabilitation timetable in the most affected areas. Task Force Marawi intends to clear Marawi of IEDs ahead of schedule. That includes mines, booby traps, and similar hazards to government and non-government workers equally keen with the military on ensuring the safety of personnel reconstructing Marawi. Here are the recovery and rehabilitation updates from Task Force Bangon Marawi. 2,615 internally displaced persons from home-based communities and evacuation centers graduated from skills training provided by TESDA last January 7, 2018. Further, the DSWD provided a 5,000 pre-employment assistance to these graduates. IDPs also underwent a series of mental and psychosocial intervention to further boost and strengthen their morale. 80 representatives from various government agencies took part in Task Force Bangon Marawi programming workshops organized by NEDA to discuss which interventions should be programmed under the 10 billion budget allocated for 2018. Lastly, Marawi City Mayor Mahul Gandamra initiated a Libreng Sakay program to lessen the IDP's burden of high fares and lack of transportation within cleared barangays. We appeal to the patience of our brothers and sisters, residents of those residing in the city. Their willing cooperation will immensely help. Okay, I open now the floor to questions from the media.
Okay, thank you, Secretary. And recognizing first the presence of City Councilors Ramir Roque and Helen Bernal. Thank you for your presence. Okay, let's go to the question and answer portion.
We're actually live on PTV4.
Okay, first question is from Sir Rudy Tahima Cruz, Bukidnon Press Club.
This is regarding international politics. In the event of the Third World War, some say that the Philippines should stay neutral, as what Switzerland did in the Second World War.
I'm sorry, what did you say for the first part? Turkey. Third World War. Oh.
In the event of the Third World War, some say that the Philippines should stay neutral, as what Switzerland did in the Second World War. What would you make of this opinion, sir?
Well, we are against the use of force, absolutely, as being contrary to the UN Charter, and that is why we're not speculating on a Third World War. We would enjoin everyone, including the interested parties in the Korean Peninsula, to resort to peaceful means in resolving their disputes, and that's why the position of the Philippine government is that we want the dispute to be resolved through diplomacy, and countries should comply with the prohibition on the use of force.
And I have a second question.
Follow-up, sir.
Okay. It's not necessarily follow-up.
Okay.
It's different.
Another question.
The senators and congressmen, sir, have separate mandates. How would we be able to convene them and let them vote jointly for or against the act of memorandum of referendum, sir, movement?
Well, there is a legal controversy which eventually will have to be resolved by the Supreme Court. There appears to be a drafting error in the 87 Constitution which requires both houses of Congress to vote jointly in case of proposals to either amend or revise the Constitution. And some say this is a drafting error because they used the language of joint voting when they were confident that there would be a unicameral parliamentarian form of government. No, it turns out that we still reverted back to the old bicameral Congress that we now have in the 87 Constitution, and some argue that if the separate voting of both houses is required to pass an ordinary law, more so if it relates to any amendment or revision of the Constitution. But this will have to be resolved by the Supreme Court.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any follow-up about that? Another question. Okay, next is June Cabajo of DXMU.
My idol.
Yes, sir.
we welcome the build program of the Duterte administration. We have Malacanang, mini Malacanang in Iloilo. And for Mindanao, I hope in the build program we can also have Malacanang because we have the president coming from Mindanao. Would that be possible?
For your information, there is a Malacanang in Mindanao. It's called Panacanyang. It's in Panacan. And it was only recently refurbished. The president toured me around a refurbished Panacanyang. And my prediction is coming true. The president appears to be spending more time in Davao than in Malacanang. In fact, last week, he asked the Indonesian foreign minister to meet with him in Panacan and not in Malacanang. No? So he also had a command conference with the PNP on 911, also in Panacan. No? This afternoon, the president has a schedule at 4 p.m. in Panacan and not in Malacanang. So it appears that the president is intent on spending more time in Mindanao, governing rather than in Malacanang.
Thank you po.
Okay, next question. Joey Yekyek of ABS-CBN.
Hi, sir. Tanong ko lang, sir, ano po yung legal move ng Palasyo laban kay CA Justice Norman D. Pizarro na mag-early retirement po?
Well, the Solgen described the decision as a decision that stinks. He has said that he will try to overturn the decision. Now, I understand the family is also contemplating filing administrative charges, but that's up to the family to decide.
Next question, sir. May plano po ba si Pangulong Duterte na magpa-fire sa kanya, ilan sa kanya mga cabinet member at kasali na po yung tatlong general?
Well, let me see if I have permission. And this was what he mentioned yesterday in PAGCOR. Now, what I do know is that he is scheduled to replace a chairman of a government-owned and controlled corporation, but not really for graft, for other reasons. So it would appear that there's a second chairman who might be replaced because of graft. And I actually asked if I could announce, but no response yet. So it may have to be, it will have to wait. No? But anyway, at 4 o'clock, the president has a scheduled appointment, one of which also is a media interview. So it might be announced at 4 this afternoon.
Lastly, sir, may habol ko lang. Madami po kasi proposal ng federalism. Kanino po yung federalism na proposal na susuportahan ng Malacanang? Kasi kaming klase ng federalism na pinopose sa Congress at Senate. At may mga gusto bang i-amend si Pangulong Duterte?
The president has repeatedly said that he favors the French model and he leaves it to Congress to draft the proposal for the people's ratification.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Now-
any question? Any follow-up question? Okay, next question is from June Estore, UMBN Radio Kai.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir.
You made mention a while ago that the trust rating of the president has increased to 15 points.
By 15 points.
15 points.
In the SWS.
What contributes to this increase of his rating?
I think the fact that he has shown that he can exercise political will to defeat terrorists and violent extremists in Marawi, the fact that people's optimism is at all-time high, the fact that manufacturing output is at all-time high. So all this indicate that the economy is growing as is promised. He has promoted the rule of law against the threat of terrorism, and of course, he's winning the war against drugs.
Okay, hindi po namin makalimutan yung sinabi nyo kanina doon sa Oval na may libre na po tayong pagtanghalian para sa mga bata.
Okay. In addition to that, of course, the president, for the first time, gave free tuition to state colleges and universities. The law providing for free irrigation, of which I'm a co-author, is about to take effect. And In the House, I have authored 2 bills which have been passed by the House, awaiting action by the Senate, one of which is the feeding program for grade school and kindergarten, and another is the universal health care. Libreng paggamot at libreng gamot sa lahat. So this is the first time that an administration has promoted basically pro-people policies, no? Including free health care, free education, and free feeding for malnourished children.
Last na lang po. Si ex-Governor Reyes ng Palawan, may plano na isupo kayo ng incite to contempt. Incite to contempt po kayo sa Nigang Bayan. Ano pong reaction po ninyo dito?
I welcome that. I will meet him in any forum and I will tell the world he is a convicted felon. Convicted felon, convicted felon.
Okay. Next question from Mel Velez, news stringer of CNN Philippines.
Magandang umaga po, Secretary. Si newly appointed Inter-USIC Martin Dino is asking the barangay executive to submit the so-called drug personalities as suspected criminals in the respective area. Now, ang tanong ngayon, ito bang kampanya ay nag-undergo ng stringent verification process? Kasi po, may maraming damaagam nito. O baka sasakali na ang mga official ng barangay ay cohorts, o di ba kaya isa ring drug personality, especially yung sa human rights group po.
Okay, your question is, Mel?
Anong take mo nito, Secretary?
Well, alam niyo po, itong ginagawa ni Yusek Dino apparently is nothing new. This is already in an old DILG memorandum on the creation of the BADAC. Now, the barangay leaders and the city councilors here would know what BADAC is, no? So the gathering of names is actually nothing new. It does not constitute any breach of constitutional rights because, of course, the gathering of the names is only the first step. The names will have to be investigated before cases, be it administrative or criminal cases, will be filed in court.
Okay, any follow-up question, Mel? Okay. Next question from Cheryl Casey Macale from Cagayan de Oro Press Corps.
Good afternoon, Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Being of which, if the Senate and the Congress would not adhere or agree to the federalism, what is the President going to do about it?
The President has said that if federalism will not push through, he wants genuine local autonomy.
Second question, Secretary. We have received the news today about the state colleges being free and all of this news that you have delivered. This is the first time that it really happened in the Philippines.
First time in the history of the Philippines.
What does it take? All the dynamics and the system and the programs that the President have implemented to create these programs and being implemented.
It's the political will to spend taxpayers' money. Our problem is not because we don't have enough funds. We've always had funds, but the very low absorptive capacity of government departments and agencies. But with programs such as free tuition, clearly there's no reason why we should not be able to spend funds. Now take note too, the train will fund the Build program. Now, in addition to the necessary infrastructure that the train will fund, it will also create further economic stimulus leading to higher income for the rest of our people, meaning higher tax rates too, no, tax collection as well. So it really is all connected, no? But it begins with political will to accomplish things and to get things moving.
Congratulations to the administration, sir. This does bring a lot of hope to the people of Mindanao.
Thank you. We
Okay,
appreciate
any
that.
follow-up question on that train? Tax reform and for acceleration and inclusion? Any follow-up question? Okay, next question from Bong Algabre of Radyo Ukay. Bong?
Magandang umaga, Secretary.
Yes. Oh, meron palang radyo ukay rito. I met you in the Christmas party in Davao for the
Yes.
Davao media. Yes.
Dito ako sa kaso ni Doc Ortiga.
Okay.
May mga lumutang na isyo na mag-a-avail umano ng maagang retirement si ASOC Justice Normandy Pizarro na siya ring sumulat sa desisyon ng Court of Appeals na nagpapalaya kay dating Gobernador Reyes. Ano ho ang masasabi nyo dito, Secretary?
Well, nasagot ko na po yan kanina, no? Kasi nasa pamilya na po yan kung anong gagawin nila kay Justice Pizarro, no? Pero ang gobyerno po, nagsalita na si Solgen, lahat po ay gagawin para mabaliktad yung decision na yan.
Okay. Dito ako sa sa mga teacher ako. Kasi kinontra ni Secretary Benjamin Jokno yung sinabi no mong ang mga teacher dudoblihin na ang salary. Ito ho ang kagustuhan ng ating Pangulo. Ano ho ang nangyari?
Hindi niya po ako kinontra. Mali yung impormasyon niya. Ang sinabi ko po, yung huling meeting ng gabinete, inatasan niya ang mga kalihim na humanap ng paraan para maitaas ang sahod ng mga guro. Tinanong po ako by how much. Sabi ko po, hindi ko po alam. Pero judging from yung ginawa niya sa AFP at saka sa PNP, baka gusto rin niyang madoble. So hindi ko po sinabi na sinabi ni Presidenteng doblehin. Ang sinabi ko, hindi ko alam kung gano'ng kataas, pero judging doon sa ginawa niya, baka gustuhin niyang doblehin. Sabi ni Secretary Jokno, hindi kakayanin, so be it. Pero ang mandato ng Presidente, humanap ng paraan para maitaas ang sahod ng mga guro.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Fake info po yan. Fake info.
Ano po?
Fake news po yun.
Well, hindi naman po fake news, pero nag-react siya without clarifying kung ano yung sinabi ko. Sa mga Malacanang press conferences po, we always have transcripts and we're always televised live. So we have, of course, the tape of what we said in our press briefings. The same thing goes for this, no? Because this is really an ordinary palace briefing. Because it is, I have questions from Manila, and I'd like to read some of them. From Joseph Morong of GMA, nandito naman ata yung GMA stringer, according to Joseph Morong. O, ikaw naman, nandito ka naman. Do you think mas madadala sa talaga sa Davao? I think so, because he now has the facility to meet even foreign dignitaries in Panacan, which is referred to as Panacanyang, no? Ano pa ba itong tanong dito? Okay. Si Malacanang Press Corps, text mayor questions. Ito, Alvin Baltasar of Radyo Pilipinas. Tanong lang po if kung si PRRD ang mag-a-announce or kayo about dun sa alleged chairman sa kanyang sisibakin na pwesto. I'll ask him po this afternoon. Pahabol, yung bang tatlong generals na sisibakin din, police or military, may idea na kayo, Secretary, kung who are they? Salamat po. I was just quoting him, no, in his impromptu speech in the PAGCOR event. Sabi niya, 40 to 70 policemen, merong mga tatlong general. So in that context, maybe the President was referring to generals in the PNP, because that was the context by which he mentioned it. I'm sure a transcript will also be made available. Sino pa? From Henry Uri, SEC, nag-resign na daw si GM Corpus ng PCSO, natanggap na ba ng Malacanang resignation letter niya? As of only about a few minutes ago, we have no information on the reported resignation of Chairman Corpus of the PCSO, but I will inquire from PMS. Okay, any further questions?
Okay.
Both from here or from Manila?
Okay, next question. From Kokoy Medina of Radyo Pilipinas.
Magandang umaga po, Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Nung nakaraang Tuesday ba yun, sinabi mo na yung paghabol ng ating presidente sa mga corrupt officials hanggang sa local chief executives. So ang tanong ko po, meron naman tayong ombudsman, meron naman tayong kinitreat niya yung isang komisyon ni President Duterte. So ano po ang pamaraan niya kanyang gagawin? Kasi iba naman yung sa mga appointees niya na kahit report lang, pwede niyang matanggal itong mga chief executives natin mga halal na opisyal.
Ang tawag po dyan concurrent jurisdiction. Hindi lang po ombudsman ang pwedeng magpatanggal ng mga lokal na pamahalaan, opisyalis. May kapangyarihan din po ang presidente dahil siya ang pinakamataas na chief executive sa ating republika. No? At meron po siyang supervision and control sa mga opisyalis sa loob po ng pamahalaan. No? So yun po yung kanyang legal basis para sibakin sa pwesto, hindi lang yung mga presidential appointees, kundi pati na rin yung mga lokal na mga opisyalis. Dahil ang presidente po has supervision over local government units, ibig sabihin, he has to make sure that they're doing their jobs. If they're not, that's a basis for firing them.
Follow up lang po. Halimbawa, yung isang local chief executive ay nakakuha ng PRO sa Court of Appeals, tatanggalin pa ba rin ni Pangulo Duterte?
Well, the president has always respected the rule of law. If there's a TRO, chances are he will respect it, but he has said that the appellate courts should be very sparing in their TROs.
Dapat po.
Okay, thank you. Next question from Radyo Veritas, Boy Demit.
Good morning, Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Unang katanungan, mawala na ba ang dynastiya kung usip tayo mula sa urinary to federal form of government?
Hindi po siguro mabibigyan ng lunas yan kahit anong form of government. In fact, dahil taong bayan po ang naghahalal sa mga tao sa gobyerno. So, kung meron pong tinatawag na dynasties, siguro po decision din yan ng taong bayan.
Sa inyong sarili, ano po ba ang posisyon ninyo sa anti-dynasty law?
Naku, wala po akong personal na desisyon ngayong ako'y tagapagsalita ng presidente. Sinabi po ng presidente na yan ay karapatan ng taong bayan na maghalal ng kanilang mga opisyalis. Kung gusto nilang ihalal ang mga magkakamag-anak, yan po ay kaparte na ating demokrasya.
Tungkol naman sa vaccine issue, ano ang marching order kung meron man ang ating Pangulo tungkol dito?
Well, malinaw po ang sabi ng presidente, ayaw niya na nagtuturuan. Ang importante, mapangalagaan ang kalusugan ng ating mga kabataan. Naatasan na ang DOH na i-monitor yung mga kabataan na nabigyan ng Dengvaxia at patuloy po investigasyon ng DOJ at ng Senado. Depende po sa outcome ng investigasyon, siguro po may mga kaso na isasampa laban sa mga tao na sang-ayon sa investigasyon ay napatunayang nagkasala.
Okay, thank you. Next question, another question from Charmaine Tamsi of Bombo Radio.
Magandang tanghali, Secretary.
Yes.
Yung question ko po, gusto ko pong malinawagan, ma-clarify, yung sinabi niyo sa speech kayo na sa Oval about po yung sa peace talk. Peace talk po ba, meron po bang mangyaring peace talk for the leftist or peace talk about the Muslim?
Ang peace talk po ay para dun sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim. Ang mga komunista po ay binansagan na nating mga terorista. Hindi na po tayo nakipag-usap sa mga terorista.
Second question po, Secretary. Nang ma-absuelto si former governor sa Palawan, si Reyes, meron po lumulutang ng mga sabi-sabi sa tabi-tabi na naging conflict of interest po. Kasi alam na po natin nga ikaw po yung abogado ng environmentalist na si Ortega. Ano po yung reaction niyo sa...
Unang-una, hindi ko po ever tinago yan kasi alam niyo naman talaga na akong naging abogado niya. Pangalawa, ang problema po dito, paano po magkakaroon ng conflict samantalang ang tanggapan po ng presidente ang nangungunang tagapagpatupad ng batas. Lahat ng kaso po ay sinasampa ng ehekutibo sa pamamagitan ng DOJ at ito po iliniliti sa pangalan ng people of the Philippines. So actually, wala pong conflict dyan, bagamat dahil nga po may delikadesa na tinatawag, minabuti ko na po na magpaalam sa presidente at binigyan naman po ako ng paalam. Basta lilinawin ko ng mga personal na mga pananaw ang aking mga sinasabi, lalong na doon sa mga detalye ng desisyon at kung bakit sa tingin ko yan ay mali. At sinabi ko naman po yan doon sa Malacanang press corps.
Last question, Secretary. Bilang national figure si Dr. Ricardo Rotoras na pinaslang dito sa Cagayan de Oro City, yung mga assailant ay at large pa hanggang ngayon. Yung pamilya po at yung school na USTP, kasi si Dr. Torres ay national figure, siya po yung presidente ng PASOK, secretary. Gusto nilang humingi ng tulong. Meron po bang tulong galing sa national government para po nasa ganon mabigyan ng hustisya ang kamatay ni Dr. Ricardo Torres?
Well, malinaw po obligasyon ng Estado kapag mayroong nalabag na karapatang mabuhay, kinakailangan po bigyan ng remedyo yung mga biktima. Kasama na po dyan yung pag-iimbestiga, paglilitis at pagpaparusa sa mga pumapatay. So, ang kailangan po talaga ay makipag-ugnayan sa kapulisan dahil sila po ang dapat magkaroon ng investigasyon nang sa ganon, ang mga resulta ng investigasyon ay makalap ang ebidensya at mahain ang complaint sa National Prosecution Service na siya namang magdedetermina kung may probable cause para masampa ang kaso sa hukuman.
Tama po.
Okay, thank you.
There's a question lang from Manila. Let me read. Ross, UNTV. Pala statement on former Solicitor General Hilbay, former CHR Chair Eta Rosales, filing of citizen suit before SC versus extension of martial law in Mindanao. Well, I've actually responded to this before. The declaration of martial law, the extension for a year, enjoys overwhelming presumption of constitutionality given that both the executive and the legislative branches of government have found both legal and factual basis for the declaration of martial law. Of course, we welcome the filing of the suit because that is also a right of any citizen under the 1987 Constitution. Audrey Moralio from Philstar, do you have information or idea on reported discussions to fire cabinet members, one of whom was supposedly becoming a hindrance to the drug war? Wala pa po. Ang binanggit ng presidente kahapon sa isang PAGCOR event ay meron siyang sisisantihin na isang chairman na naman at mga 70 na mga kapulisan kasama ang 3 general. Trisha Macas, reaction po, former Commission on Human Rights, ETA, on Friday urged the Supreme Court to nullify. Nasagot ko na po yan. We welcome the challenge, but the 2 branches of government, the executive and the legislative, have already found factual and legal basis for the declaration of martial law. Laila Salaveria from Inquirer, follow up, if, as the President says, 40% of barangay officials are involved in drugs, how do we expect the DLG to come up with a credible list of people involved in the drug trade? Is it not premature to come up with a list before these officials have been purged? Thank you. As I said, number 1, USEC Dino is not implementing a new policy. It is already implementing, that's already implementing an already existing policy of the DILG. And number 2, the names covered by the list will be names that will be investigated. There appears to be no constitutional infirmity. Okay, any further questions? Leo Paulo, any comments, Sec? Former President Aquino arraignment this afternoon sa case Rema Mazapano. And then, any assurance from the palace price of NFA rice will not go up due to trade? Well, on President Aquino, well, we're happy that he is complying and observing the rule of law. He has entered a plea, and we expect the case to be prosecuted at the soonest time possible. What is the effect of train on NFA rice? Sinabi na po yan ng ating kalihim ng finance na wala pa po namang 1% ang magiging epekto sa inflation ng ating train. No? So mukhang negligible naman po kung meron man ang pagtaas ng presyo ng NFA rice dahil dito sa train. Ulitin ko po, baka naman po negligible kung meron man ang epekto ng train sa NFA rice.
Okay, I need to be here. Our rostrum is not child-friendly. Next question is from UNTV. Weng Fernandez.
Secretary, good morning po.
Yes, please.
I was in Iligan and Marawi yesterday. Unahin ko lang po, Sec, yung pagkasuspindi ng 12 councilors ni Mayor Rehencia. Kasi ang problema ni Mayor Rehencia ngayon, naantala po yung pagdideklara nila ng state of calamity dahil suspendido ang kanyang vice mayor at ang kanyang 12 councilors. So, ang apektado ngayon, sabi niya, nasa 70,000 residents ang apektado ngayon sa pangunahin sa tubig. So, mayroon ba kayong maitutulong sa local government ng Iligan.
Well, pagbibigay alam ko po ito sa DILG at titingnan po natin kung anong remedyong pwedeng magawa dyan dahil naintindihan ko nga na kapag walang konseho, walang declaration of a state of calamity. No? So pagbibigay alam ko po yan kay General Anyo.
Okay. Sir, regarding naman po doon, nabanggit nyo kanina yung rehabilitation, reconstruction sa Marawi. I was also in Sagunsungan, Marawi kahapon. At di ba nung December 27, nag-turnover na po ng 500 temporary?
800 po.
800.
500 as built by the National Housing Authority, 300 as built by PAGCOR.
Okay po. Nagpunta po kami kahapon, wala pa pong formal na nakalipat doon. Wala akong na-interview dahil di ko makontak si ASIC Felix Castro. So nag-check na lang po kami, nag-ikot kami. Ang nakita naming problema doon is tubig, supply po ng tubig. Mayroon po ba kayong date kung kailan, may alam po ba kayong petsa kung kailan talaga sila pwedeng lumipat po doon?
Tatanungin ko po yan kay Secretary De Rosario, bagamat sinabi talaga ni Secretary De Rosario no, na hindi pa nakakonect ang lahat ng unit sa tubig at sa kuryente. No? Pero ang pagkakaintindi ko po, yung 300 ng PAGCOR, meron na. So, baka ang nakita nyo po yung isang site lang, no? Kasi iba-iba yung estado ng mga iba't ibang sites.
Opo, 4 po yun, Sec.
Correct.
Opo.
So, meron na dyan isa na kompleto na. At ang sabi naman ni General De Rosario, dun sa ilan sa mga 500, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, parang ngayong atang buwan ng Enero, maiko-connect na rin sila sa tubig at sa kuryente.
Okay po. Last na lang po, Sir Harry, regarding po doon sa mga evacuees na still nasa evacuation center pa sa Iligan City. Nag-iikot din po kami doon sa 3 evacuation center sa Maria Cristina, Buruon at Santa Elena. Sabi po ng karamihan na natitira doon, sila po yung nasa ground zero. Sabi nila, ma'am, bakit dito sa amin walang isang pamilya na nakasama doon sa list na lilipat sa Sagunsungan? Yun po. Tapos tinanong ko yung camp manager ng DSWD, sabi naman po nila, wala na silang alam doon, basta nagpasa lang po sila ng list. So ang problema po doon, sir, yung nangangasiwa daw sa Sagunsungan, mas priority ng mga barangay captain o kung anong barangay yung nangangasiwa doon, yung kanilang kamag-anak at pamilya. Yun po yung problema ng mga evacuees na natitira sa Iligan City.
Titignan po natin yan, pero yung sinabi nyo ng mga evacuate galing sa most affected area, lahat po sila affected kasi lahat sila napilitang umalis sa kanilang mga bahay. Ang sinisigurado lang po natin, walang mabibigyan naman ng temporary shelter kung hindi sila napaalis sa kanilang mga tahanan. So talagang lahat po sila biktima. Hindi ko po alam kung may pagkakaiba ang pagiging biktima na ikay nakatira sa most affected area at ikay nakatira dun sa labas ng most affected area. Basta lahat kayo napilitang iwanan ang inyong tahanan, lahat sila po ay internally displaced persons. Pero wag po kayo mag-alala, napakabilis naman po ng pagto-turnover ng mga temporary shelters na yan. No? Bukod po dyan, meron ng 170 plus another 200 no, na maiti-turnover ata dito sa susunod na buwan. No? So another 300 easily. No? Ang sabi nga po ni Presidente, kasi nung turnover, hindi siya nakalanding kasi masyadong thick ang clouds sa Marawi, dumiretso siya ng Lanao. No? Ang sabi niya, babalik siya sa Marawi para doon sa second batch ng mga temporary shelter. Aba, nakabuti pa po yun kasi ngayon, talagang mamadaliin yung second batch para mas marami ang ma-turnover ni Presidente personally pagpunta niya sa Marawi sa susunod.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay?
Okay, next question from Gold Star Daily, Bing Tenorio.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, may we know the update of Polong Duterte's resignation?
It's been accepted.
So,
Effective immediately. So he no longer is Vice Mayor. There's a question from Dale de Guzman, DZXL, RMN Manila. Reaction lang po, National Anti-Poverty Commission Chairman Liza Masa said that poverty will worsen because of train. She said that not all poorest of the poor that will be hit by the tax reform will benefit from the additional benefit from conditional cash transfer program. Well, we beg to disagree. DOF has provided for mitigating conditional cash transfer. It is 200 pesos for the poorest of the poor families within this year, and next year it will be increased to 300. And as I said, by and large, the increase of cost of commodities will not even reach 1% as a result of the train. On the other hand, the benefits are tremendous. It's not only much needed infrastructure that will be built according to the Build program, it's also the jobs and the other economic opportunities that will be created as a result of the Build.
Okay, here's a question from GMA, Mike Tulang. Is Chinese exploration allowed in Benham Rise, sir?
Benham Rise is exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. It is an extended continental shelf of the Philippines as awarded to us by the United Nations Commission on the Extended Continental Shelf. It is covered by sovereign rights, which is exclusive in nature, unless the Philippines agrees to joint exploration. So as of now, it should be sole exploration by the Philippines as part of its sovereign rights.
Okay, any follow-up on Benham Rise? Okay, next question from Gaudi Balansag of Radyo Natin.
Gaudi Balansag. Gaudi Balansag po ng Radyo Natin at saka KBP President ng Bukidnon.
Apo, hello sir.
Sa Pampanga.
Apo, yes.
Maraming nagbubunyi ngayon kasi no election na daw. Kasi hindi ma-implement ng federalismo kung hindi mga tauhan lahat ni Presidente yung nakarinda sa gobyerno. Totoo ba yun, sir, na ang solusyon daw revolutionary government, sir?
Naku, malinaw na po sinabi ng Presidente dyan. Nung binanggit niya ang RevGov, yan ay gagamitin lang niya o iniisip lang niya kapag naghihingalo na ang gobyerno. Wala pong kinukonsiderang RevGov kung hindi naman po naghihingalo ang ating gobyerno. Okay? Titignan ko lang po kung meron pang questions from Manila, ha? Wala na po sa akin nagpadala ng additional questions.
Okay, we only have few minutes left. Next question is from June Sapanghari, UMBN Radyo Ukay.
Magandang umaga po, Secretary.
Yes, good morning po.
INUGP, President Bukidnon. Tanong ko, ikaw ang naging isang counsel sa Maguindanao Massacre. At sa ngayon, ikaw ang nasa kabay ng Presidente. Ano ang status ng kaso sa Maguindanao Massacre at yung hinihintay ng pamilya na hostisya?
Well, unang-una po, nakipagpulong po ang ilang mga miyembro ng ilang biktima na mga kaanak ng mga mamamahayag na naging biktima ng Maguindanao Massacre kay Presidente nung huling komemerasyon, no? Noong Nobyembre sa Palasyo. Yan po ikauna-una pagkakataon na nakapilig ng mga biktima ang isang presidente. At in-order naman talaga ni Presidente kay Secretary Vitaguire gawin ang lahat ng mapabilis ang proseso. At nagbigay din po ng ayuda at kaunting tulong para sa livelihood at sa edukasyon ng mga biktima ang ating Presidente.
Okay, next question. June Maban, Armen.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning po.
May existing martial law po sa Mindanao. Tanong ko lang kung may posibilidad bang ma-postpone ulit yung barangay at saka SK election in this coming May.
Decision po yan ng Kongreso. Dahil Kongreso po talaga nagtatalaga ng petsa at ang budget para sa barangay elections.
Okay, any follow-up? June. Next question from Dong Arances, Valencia Information Office.
Good morning, Secretary.
Apo.
Valencia City is prone for flood. So we have a local need that we need also a national help. Can you add or assure us that there will be more funds to have a retaining wall in Valencia? And second question is, how can you exercise effectively as being a human rights advocate before, with regards to the present problem about war on drugs, especially there are many victims of drugs or killed.
Well, sa unang yung tanong, no, ako'y kongresista pa po, bago ko umalis ng Kongreso, ay sinubukan ko pong magpasok ng isang 200 million road project under the Pamana program after coordinating then with the better looking and the much richer Congressman O'Neil Roque, no? So, titignan ko po kung ano naging status noon dahil alam ko po ay naipasok yan sa 2018 budget. So, even as a party-list congressman, we have 200 million worth of project here in Valencia, no? So certainly, if you request my office in my capacity now as spokesperson of the president, perhaps the National Irrigation Authority and other agencies that will have to lead that flood control program, the DPWH, may consider it. No? So just send me a letter.
Secretary.
Hindi ko po alam kung ano yung second question eh. Medyo hindi ko po alam kung ano yung naging question natin na as a human rights advocate, and then what? Ano po yung tanong?
Dong, how is the government handling the human rights violation?
Violation. With regards to drug on war.
Well, number one po, pag may nagrereklamo, inaaktuhan ng Presidente. Yung kaso po ni Kian, inaaktuhan ni Presidente. In order niyan, ang pagliliti sa pagpapakulong ng mga pulis na umabuso sa kanilang kapangyarihan. Ang problema po, maraming mga nagsasabi na may mga human rights violations, wala naman po nagsasampa ng reklamo. Paano naman po maiimbestigahan at mapaparusahan ng Presidente yan? Ang Presidente po ay dating piskal, sa puntaon siya naging piskal. Hindi po para palampasin niya yung mga tao na gumagawa ng krimen dahil sa puntaon ng buhay niya bago siya naging mayor, ang ginagawa po niya araw-araw, litisin at siguraduhin na mapaparusahan ang mga gumagawa ng krimen sa ating lipunan, kasama na po dyan yung mga umaabuso sa kapangyarihan.
Okay, next question from DXIQ Love Radio. Alex Dupeno.
Magandang tanghali.
Yes, sir.
Marcelo has been extended in Mindanao. At doon sa Luzon, maraming nagkukomento against Marcelo. Wala bang balak ang Presidente patikim rin ang buong bayan ng Marcelo?
Wala po. Ang legal at ang paktual na basehan ng martial law ay para lang sa Mindanao. Hindi naman po niya ninanais na mag-exercisyo ng kapangyarihan ng Chief Executive by declaring martial law kung walang legal or factual basis.
Okay, any follow-up question about martial law?
Good morning, sir. Actually, this is not a question, but it's more on about in behalf of the Vinta victims sa Cagayan de Oro City. Na up to this time, mga 80% still suffering, walang pa sila bahay or enough pagkain, no? First problem there, Cagayan de Oro City. And then, yung ating city jail at provincial jail, medyo, or maganda siguro ang takbo ng pagpadakip ng mga drugs-related cases, no? Kasi, nag-grow together there to the point na, instead na 10 per silda, nagiging 100 sila. So, shifting ang tulong nila doon, no? And then also sa provincial jail, mga drug-related cases, marami doon. So, in behalf of them, parating ko lang po sa national level, paano po natin sila matutulungan o mabilis ang trabaho doon sa infrastructure siguro sa city jail, sa provincial jail. And then, sa agricultural side, yung ating mga farmers, they're suffering yung, maliit lang ba yung kanilang kita? In fact, sila yung gumagawa ng source ng pagkain natin, no? Agricultural side. So, maybe, sir, sa atin doon sa higher level, we can help them. Okay, thank you very much. That's it.
I will relay your information to the relevant secretary head. I will relay. Now, Vinta, you know the President was in Mindanao when Vinta struck. So he saw firsthand the devastation. No? And that is why I assure you, all branches of government that can provide humanitarian assistance did so and will continue to do so.
Okay.
Okay?
Next question. Last 3 questions from Bong Laureto, DXGT, Radyo Abante.
Good morning po, Secretary.
Morning.
So my question is about the law on hospitalization and medical services. So kailan ito mag-take effect, Secretary?
I think it's effective already. Which law are you talking about?
That is all about the hospitalization and for free, no?
Universal health
Free
care.
hospitalization and free medical services.
Okay, yung universal health care po is not yet effective. It has only been passed in the House. It will have to be acted upon by the Senate. So hindi pa po effective ang universal health care. Although, under the current PhilHealth system, we're also aiming to provide universal health care. Kaya meron tayong mga zero billing. No? Pero ang mangyayari po dyan, under the new law, i-expand ang mga benepisyo at saka ang coverage po, lahat ng Pilipino, hindi lang yung mga nagbibigay o nagbabayad ng premiums.
Okay. So lahat na yung, kahit yung walang mga PhilHealth na patient?
Yes, kasi pag wala po silang pambayad ng premiums, gobyerno magbabayad ng premiums.
Okay. So second question, Secretary. Bukidnon is known to be a sugarcane place, and many small-scale farmers are depending on it. But in the present trend of the sugar trade, it seems that farmers have difficulties in their livelihood now for the price of sugar is going down, while the price of fertilizer, labor, weeds, etc. are all going high. What is the stand of our President Rodrigo Duterte, Secretary?
The President is apprised of the matter. In fact, nung isang pagtitipon po sa Davao kung saan inanunsyo niya ako na magiging tagapagsalita niya, may isang sugar trader po na lumapit talaga sa kanya at sinabi ko ano ang extent ng problema, napakababa na raw po ng halaga ng asukal, lalong-lalo na dahil ginagamit ng mga soft drink company yung fructose syrup, which is a substitute for sugar. So nangako naman po ang Presidente na titignan kung anong po pwede gawin. Alam ko po, tinalaga na niya si Secretary Piñol kung anong po pwedeng gawin. Nagkaroon na po tayo ng train na nagpapataw din ng buwis na mas mataas doon sa fructose syrup. At ang ninanais po nila ay para, bagamat meron ding tinaas na buwis sa asukal, ay para gamitin ang asukal at hindi ang fructose syrup.
Thank you so much, Secretary, and good morning.
Good morning po.
Okay, next question from Glenn Oy of Eagles Journal.
Good morning, Secretary. I will just want to ask the framework agreement of Bangsamoro. Kumusta na po ito?
Well, alam niyo po, nung minsan lang ay yung isang buwan nanggaling nga sa Maguindanao at saka sa Sulu ang Presidente upang hingin sa Kongreso na bigyan ng prioridad yung pagpapasa ng BBL na sang-ayon sa kanya ay isang kasunduan na kinakailangan para magkaroon ng mas matagalang kapayapaan. No? It is intended, according to the President, to correct historical injustices. No? So having said that, I know that the House has set a target to finish BBL even without being certified as urgent. If I'm not mistaken, si Congressman June, who I flew with to Davao yesterday, no, said that kung hindi ako nagkakamali, Marso ba, ang sabi niya na petsa na matatapos nila yung BBL sa Kamara de Representante.
Okay, next is from DXGG, Analu Tilanduka.
Meron pa pala akong meron pa akong 2 questions from Malacanang Press Corps.
Okay,
ay, natanong ko na ito ha. Nabasa ko na ata lahat ng questions sa sabi nila meron pa. Nasagot ko na ito, MPC, yung comment on President Aquino arraignment. I've already said that the palace welcomes the fact that the president is adhering to the rule of law by entering a plea. Any assurance? Well, I've assured that according to that train will not increase NFA price. I said I've repeated what Secretary Dominguez says. It's only 1% increase, so it's really negligible. May tanong ang MC President, di mo pa nababasa. Baka late pasok. Wala na kasi akong questions dito na hindi nababasa. Pia Gutierrez, how many days a week is President will stay in Davao with the renovation of Malacanang? Aside from the price and to be in his hometown, are there practical reasons to have two Malacanangs? Also, how does Palace reconcile this with the President's order against frequent travels of government officials? Well, all I can say is, since there is a facility in Davao, it can be used. Now, I'm not saying that the President will actually come to Manila less. No, he continues to have his Mondays to Friday schedules in Malacanang, but where it is more convenient to meet in Davao, he has met foreign dignitaries, including the Indonesian foreign minister in Davao. No? But it's not a bad idea for the President and the Chief Executive in a unitary state of government to spend more time in Malacanang. Don't you agree? People in Malacanang, in Mindanao, do you agree that the President should spend more time in Mindanao? I think that's the overwhelming sentiment of people from Mindanao who have long complained not only of historical injustice, but of a bias, no? Bias, developmental bias in favor of Metro Manila. So it may not be a good idea. It may not be a bad idea. I stand corrected. It may not be a bad idea if the President, in fact, spends more time in Mindanao as the people of Mindanao would want him to do so, as you have affirmed here in Bukidnon. So that's Pia Gutierrez, no? Let's see what else. Wala na po akong questions from the MPC. Okay. Okay.
Last two questions. From Radyo Natin, the XRO, Tita Fina Cuales.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Magandang umaga, Sir Harry.
Good morning.
Sa lipunan po natin ay siyempre kasali naman ang mga kabataan. Ano po ang nagiging hakbang ngayon ng administrasyon dahil alam natin na ang mga kabataan ngayon ay sangkot sa maraming krimen at dahil sa kanilang mga edad, so parang hindi masyadong nabigyan ng tugon ang dapat na disiplina para sa kanila. Meron na bang hakbang ngayon ang administrasyon para medyo malimit naman at kailangan magtanda ang ating mga kabataan ngayon na ang gumawa ng krimen ay talagang punishable din para sa kanila.
Well,
lang po.
Alam niyo po, tinututulan ni Presidente yung tinatawag na Pangilinan Law na nagtaas ng age of criminal responsibility. Gusto po niyang ibalik sa mas mababang edad ang age of criminal responsibility. Okay?
Okay. Any follow-up on juvenile justice? Is that juvenile justice? Please. Is it a follow-up question, sir? Another question? Okay, Analu of Happy FM.
From Happy FM po. Welcome po sa Bukidnon po ulit. Sir, may lang ako na ipaabot sa inyo. Kasi worried kami pag walang election ngayong umabot nga May 2018. Sir, kasi doon kasi sa lugar ko, doon sa Malaybalay Bukidnon, usok kasi doon ang palakasay system po. Tinatanggal yung mahusay magtrabaho kaysa yung hindi mahusay magtrabaho doon. Isa din ako doon na biktima doon ako doon, sir. Dapat sabi niyo kasi change is coming, dapat yung mga politiko na yan, yung malapit lang po sa puso nila ang tinatanggap nila po. Totoo po yan.
Hindi po ganyan ang patakaran ni Presidente. Hindi po ganyan ang patakaran ni Presidente.
I mean, sir, dapat kasi matas na problema na yan po.
Anyway, we'll take note po of your complaint against Malaybalay LGU. LGU ba ho rinireklamo nyo?
Yes, sir.
I will relay the information to Secretary Anyo.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next is from People's
Hello sir, I'm Paulo po from PTV4 Manila. May pinaabot lang sa aking tanong dito si Miss Roque Ignacio, no? From Tuesday New, Hi Sec, Tuesday here. PNP said that they will revive Oplan Tokhang but will have some revisions. Would the palace advise the PNP to just replace the anti-illegal drugs campaign's name because Oplan Tokhang has put the president's image in a bad light?
I do not know yet, no? But I will certainly inquire from the PNP what their plans are, because as you said, it's just a plan of the PNP. Okay? And also remember, while the president has asked them to assist in the drug war, the lead in the war itself continues to remain with PIDEA. So I think PIDEA head, Mr. Aquino, should also be asked for his inputs.
Okay, thank you. Last two questions from, please identify.
Si MC naman, kanina po yung last two questions mo, ha?
Pahabol,
Naka
sir,
20
pahabol.
questions ka na sa last two questions mo. But anyway, I traveled far, so you go ahead.
Sulitin
We can
daw, sir.
have last
Susulitin.
20 questions. Okay. Go
Sabi
ahead, go
nila, sir,
ahead.
susulitin namin yung
Go
questions
ahead,
mo.
please. Go ahead. It's my pleasure.
Good morning po, Sir Secretary. Ang question ko po is, ito lang po, bali, dami kasing tanong sa tao dito sa Bukidnon kasi nasa field ako. I'm from Radyo Kilat, Nel Mahinay, field reporter. Halos lahat po ng barangay sa Bukidnon, na-reach ko na po. Tapos, isa lang po ang tinanong nila sa akin, paano na po yung, yung right of suffrage nila? Kasi, palagi na lang pong naantala yung election. Kasi may incoming na election dapat na May 11, 2019, plus mayroon pang incoming na election na ISKI at saka barangay election ng 2018 at tapos mayroon pa pong martial law. Any idea po o clarification para at least ma-address po namin sa tao kasi hindi kami makasagot sa ganung tanong po, Mr. Secretary.
Ang presidente po tutol sa NOEL in 2019. Nais niyang matuloy ang halala sa 2019. Ang pinapangako niya po, ito ay magiging isa sa pinakamalinis at pinaka-credible na eleksyon sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay, last question, pahabol, Mel Velez of CNN.
Sec,
Yes,
this is a
ma'am.
matter of local concern. Dito pabo lang, no? Valencia City is catch basin. Flood prone po itong Valencia. Now, ang tanong dito, may mamagawa bang Malacanang na nangangailangan ng retaining walls para maprotektahan yung consequence?
Okay, what I will do is I will call the attention of Director Gatan, who is the Director in charge of flood control under the DPWH. I will ask him to contact Congressman the better looking and the richer Congressman Roque, and I will make sure that the DPWH will propose for funding a project in relation to this retaining wall. Okay?
Okay, this is in relation, last na lang po, regarding the government mitigation impact of the tax reform, kasi vulnerable po yung mga marginalized sector. Anong government mitigation?
200 pesos po for this year, 300 pesos for next year. Remember, itong mitigation po ito sa epekto lang ng indirect taxes. Huwag natin kakalimutan na napakadaming Pilipino ngayon na hindi na magbabayad ng tax. Yung mga dati nagbabayad ng tax na 250,000 and below, hindi na sila nagbabayad. So yung 200 na yan, para lang yan doon sa increase na counting increase sa presyo ng elektrisidad, no? Kung ikaw naman yung pinakamahirap na mahirap talaga, ang konti naman binabayad mo talaga sa kuryente, no? Di ba? Dahil konti lang iyong konsumo. So para doon lang po yan. Okay? Kaya ang tawag dyan, mitigating. Okay?
Okay, 200 pesos.
For
Okay.
this year to be increased, 300 next year.
Okay. Wala na po. So, thank you very much.
Thank you!
Happy 17th birthday, Valencia City. Maraming salamat.
I thoroughly
Presidential
enjoyed this
Spokesperson
Malacanang press briefing here in Valencia, Bukidnon. You ask a lot more questions than the Malacanang press corps. Hello, they're watching. And I look forward to our next press briefing here. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Secretary, majority yung photo op daw.
Okay, but we go offline now, okay? Yeah, sure, photo ops and then we go offline. Thank you.